Hey there, thank you for clicking on this video. You have found the channel Mr. Articulate, where I record a video of between 5 and 10 minutes length each day, and I upload it to YouTube. My main goal when I make these videos is just to slowly but surely develop the kind of skills that will help me to be a more articulate person in my normal everyday life. So today's video, I am going to talk about a vision I have and an obstacle that I have that holds me back from that vision. So first thing you need to know here is a couple months back, I did a special event at the local Hibernian Hall in the city that I live in. So I have a side hustle besides my main job, and the side hustle is that I am a host for bar trivia nights. I work for the biggest bar trivia company in my area, and I do a couple nights a week at local bars. But I was able to do a special event for the parents group at a local school, and they decided to have a trivia night, and they had it at the local Hibernian Hall. If you don't know what a Hibernian Hall would be, it's basically a lodge or a hall for a chapter of the Hibernian Society of America. I don't know if that's exactly what the organization's called, but it's basically a large organization for Americans of Irish heritage. And it's an old organization. It's got roots that I would guess go back over 100 years. And the Hibernian Hall in my city is so freaking cool, which I did not know. From the outside, the building is just a nondescript looking little brick building, but you go in and it's fantastic. There's a bar area with this gorgeous burnished oak wood bar, and a ton of space for special dinners and stuff, lots of tables and whatnot. And then there's conference rooms within the lodge. There's amazing old kind of turn of the 20th century paintings of like St. Patrick, photographs of old popes, probably different Irish American luminaries framed in these beautiful frames. And it's just a heck of a cool place. So that's the first thing you need to know. And then second thing is, when I saw that, it made me want to become a member of the Hibernian Society, specifically the chapter in my city. I can be fairly confident, although I have never attended an event run by the Hibernians, that the membership at this point will be all people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. I don't know that here, but we just all know that type of civic organization, like an Irish American civic organization or any other kind of civic organization that was really popular in the mid 20th century, all the way even into like the 1980s, 1990s, all these types of organizations stopped gaining new members quite a few years ago now. So if a guy like me in my mid-30s joined the Hibernian Society, I'd probably be either the only young person there or one of a very small handful of young people. And I love this place. This place was so cool. I'd love to be a member. They do all kinds of events that are for members only at the hall. Just when I was in there for a special event, they had little bulletins posted on the wall, basically talking about the events upcoming over the next 6 weeks or so from the date that I was there. And they were doing a ton of cool stuff. The rule is it's for members only, and every member gets a +1. So, and I should also add, I believe that the membership of the Hibernian Society is actually confined to Irish American men. So one imagines that most men in the chapter, their +1 is their wife. And so it's basically a way to go out and see live music, have dinner, blah, 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 at the Hibernian Hall, and have camaraderie, sense of fraternity, sense of participation in the community, because the Hibernian Society does do a lot of local charity work, things of that sort, of that nature. And I love everything about the idea of joining. And so that's the vision. And the vision would even extend to the fact that this society, it's going to go under. It's going to be gone in 20, 25 years if some younger people don't join it. And again, that is a universal dilemma among all types of civic organizations in the country that originate in the 19th or 20th centuries. So the idea is I join, a handful of other young guys join, we keep the thing alive, and we see if this pendulum won't swing back at some point in our lifetimes towards a valuing of civic participation like that was known to our parents and our grandparents. Now, the third thing you need to know, and this will sort of be where I wrap up the video, is the obstacle I face, which is that I am not good at socializing. I am not good at small talk. If I meet someone new who's a stranger and who I don't have some sort of base of common reference with, you know, if we both were big tennis fans, somehow we could talk tennis. You know, if we're both this is, you know, this never happens in real life, but if it was a fellow art history buff or a fellow old poetry buff, and again, you don't meet, if you're a fan of those things, you don't meet other people who are also fans of those things, at least not where I live. And but you know, whatever, if you meet someone like that, then I can talk. But if it's just a person I don't have anything particularly in common with, and so the conversation needs to just be driven by what we call small talk, I'm gonna run out of things to say within minutes. Literally within 4 or 5 minutes, I am going to have scraped the bottom of the bowl in my head for what I can say. And this is a social society, among other things. You know, you join the Hibernian Society in your city, it's a social club, and I don't know how to socialize. So I feel like this society needs young guys, and I wish I could be one of those young guys, but I don't know how to carry a conversation with people. And that is, for me, more true with people who are older than me. I've always been like that. When I was a teenager, I didn't know how to talk to people who were in their mid-20s. And when I was in my mid-20s, anyone who was in their 40s or older didn't know how to talk to them. Now I'm in my mid-30s, and it's still probably that cutoff. Anyone kind of above the age of 50, I have a much harder time talking to than people younger than 50. I'm sure other people have that problem too, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people can small talk, if they're 35 themselves, can small talk a 55-year-old as easily as a 35-year-old. And that's not me. And that's with 55-year-olds, but even 35-year-olds, I struggle to small talk. So that's my thing. There it is. I would love to join the Hibernian Society, and there's probably a lot of other things I'd like to do in my life too, but I'm just held back by the fact that I don't know how to small talk. And not knowing how to small talk, what that really means is that the types of content that will come up in small talk, you don't have in your head. So just for like one random example, I mean, you could come up with hundreds of examples of things that two strangers might get talking about together. Say lawn work or lawn care. You know, it's summertime now, mowing the lawn, pruning things, planting things, just yard work. That's something that a lot of people can just talk about for 5 minutes. This is what I'm doing. Oh, now you tell me what you're doing. That'll remind me of when I did something like that, and I can share that. And you can talk for a while about that. But you can only talk about that if you have lived it. And I've never lived yard work, really. I mow my lawn, but I don't live it. Even as I'm mowing it, I'm not there. I'm not inhabiting my body as I mow the lawn. And if I do some weeding, I'm not there while I weed, and I don't feel it, and I don't feel why I'm doing it, and things like that. So I can't talk about that. And again, you can come up with probably at least 200 other things on the level of yard work that can be a small talk source, and I just don't have I don't have those lived experiences to use that phrase, right? Small talk consists of sharing back and forth lived experiences. And I don't have a lot of lived experiences because I kind of live in my head. And that's why I can talk about, if there's something I'm passionate about and interested in, and I meet someone else who shares my interest, I can talk about that pretty well. But all the things like that for me are all head things. I just don't accumulate lived experiences that occur outside of this, you know, outside of that space. So that's a problem. So, you know, I guess long term, for me to join the Hibernian Society, I have to learn, I have to start living my experiences. I have to start having lived experiences that use my body and use my eyes, my ears, my nose, you know, whatever. And do that, then I can small talk. And if I can small talk, sky's the limit. There's all kinds of fun stuff I could do with my life if I just knew how to socialize. So there it is. That's the video. Thanks for watching if you stuck around till the end, and I will be back soon with my next video.